What stood out to you most about that post-game press conference?
I think it's finally Carlos at a point where you can't make an excuse anymore. You can't say, hey, we're going to turn it around or the preparation's good because, look, he's one of the most honest guys that ever addresses the press. And in a place like this, when the team loses 2 or 3 in a row, it's one thing. When the team loses 8 in a row and you see the difference in the caliber of what the Dodgers have been able to do with their depth and with the ability to get you in a lot of different ways, it just kind of shows some of the holes that are right now showing up for this Mets team. So he's not, he doesn't want to sit back and make excuses anymore. And I liked what he said at the end. First of all, in the middle of it, he said, hey, talk is cheap. You got to show it on the field. That's A. And then B, he said the guys are pissed and they're frustrated. And I want them to be. Of course he wants them to be because there's no other way to come out of this other than playing your way out of it. These guys can't talk their way out of it. They can't prepare their way out of it. They've got to be able to do it on the field between the lines when they have the opportunity. And right now they haven't been able to do it. And I think one of the things that frustrated him, you could kind of read it in his body language, and it's been something that's been persistent over the course of this losing streak, is it's not just the other team beating them, it's them making small mistakes that end up being big mistakes and that end up being making it seem like, hey, are they not paying attention? Are they not quite prepared? Is their head somewhere else? And so that, I think, gets more frustrating for a manager than even physical mistakes, or the effort is there and it's not, you're not coming up with it. That's one thing. When you're also seeing the mental mistakes go along with it, I think that can get frustrating.
So after an 8-game losing streak, Mets have this clubhouse right now where there's so many different veterans. How do they keep it together when there's so many different veterans and they're all new?
Well, they're all trying to get used to their own style within the context of being on a team. So that is going to take a little bit of an effort, certainly. But there are guys that have done this before, that have been through struggles before. And you've got a guy like Semien, who we've talked about a lot, who's just kind of, a grown-up in the room. He's the leader. He's the guy that's been through ups and downs. He's won in the past, and he's a guy that's very level-headed. But you heard him say yesterday, hey, that some of this gets frustrating and some of this, has to stop. And then you've got young guys that are trying to learn what it's like to succeed at the big league level or get challenged at the big league level, like Carson Bench. The guys that are the guys that are sort of the in between that, which the Beatty Vientos kind of mix, and even Lindor. So to a point that have been here before, that you've seen the greatness of them as New York Mets, and you thought it was going to take a level, a step up a level, and they've been struggling and they don't seem to know their own character as a part of this team yet. That's the part where you're like, hey, that's got to come together and gel again, because those guys were guys that you kind of figured were, hey, it's a given. Those guys are going to be good and those guys are going to be solid. And we've seen the struggles, with Beatty, I think, is in between. Vientos, really good, and then 0 for 23. Those kinds of things right now are exacerbating this team trying to find a way to gel as a group.
I'm not sure if they're certainly getting tested. I'm not sure if it's better to get tested at the beginning of the year or the end of the year. Either way.
Probably now. I would say that if there was any silver lining, and I think that's a good point, is that it's April 15th. Nobody else in this division is running away with things and are 14-4 like the Dodgers are. That said, you're running out of time. You're going to go play a Cubs team that's still a good team. It's not the Dodgers. Maybe that lifts them a little bit, but you've got to get some wins on this road trip before you get back here to Citi Field.
But you're also trying to figure out your identity, and for this to happen while you're trying to figure that out with so many new guys is just such a challenge.